I'm going to start putting my transmission back together. So before I did it, I wanted to make a little video of all what I've done so far and the breakdown of it. So here is a transmission. Everything from the mount to the screws, the casing, and all of the drive components, gears, split rings, washers, ball bearings. So I'm not ready to assemble it, so this will be a multi-stage video, but I cleaned this up. I've got brand new screws to replace these with because these are all rusted, as you can tell right there. It's pretty nasty, but I got brand new screws. These I did clean and then dyed them black, so my casing is now going to be black. These pieces I did give a bath to, and they are nice and white again. It had bushings in it. I bought a bearing package, so now we're going to have bearings in it, and I got all black screws to replace those as well. I cleaned these pieces up. I looked at all of the well, I guess I didn't clean that one. Got some rust on there. The teeth look good on this, so we're going to be taking that and cleaning that up again. Here is the main body. I'm not breaking this down any further. There's no moving parts on here, but I am going to spray it out with some cleaner and just clean out the threads and stuff in it. But this is in good shape. Some E-clips. These pieces here I am going to change out because they're still dirty and they have bushings in them right there. So it takes a very small, you can tell with my fingers here how small of a Allen key it fits to take those out. But I'll be taking both of those bushings out and replacing it with bearings, some more spacers. I'm going to take these out and clean the rust off of them. These are the out drives. So that will be getting cleaned up. And then I'll be taking those rings out and replacing those bushings with bearings on both of those. These pieces here, clean up on the inside. And this is all for the differential. I did clean up that gear and all the ball bearings for it. So I'll be taking care of that, and then we'll come back and do some more. Alright, so we're back, and I got some of this stuff cleaned up, and we're going to start putting it back together now. I cleaned these up. They look a lot better now. No rust on them. Got the insides all done. So that looks a lot better. Remember, I was complaining in one of my other videos about the screw pack that I got. Claimed it was for a complete set of screws. Well, for this gold pan. Well, it's not. So I'm using the original ones, and I just went wire brushed them and cleaned them up. I also, as you can tell, I've got some ball bearings casings laying here, because I'm going from bushings to ball bearings. So we're going to see what we can do here. I got some extra light on in, so hopefully that will help. This is going to be a very long video. I tried to cut some of it down by already taking care of some parts. As you can tell, half of this is already done. So I cleaned it all up as well. Cleaned out all the threads with some WD-40 and wire brushed the snot out of it and cleaned it up. So what we're going to do, I already did those. I'm going to do this half to show you how I did it. All right, and that's where we're going to start. So right here, we take, again, if I say the wrong thing, then it is what it is, but I'm going to try to put this together, and I'm not really sure what all these pieces and parts are called, but we're gonna make it happen. So take one of these. There's two different kinds of bearings that go in this. They're both the same size, except for this one has a flange on it. See right there, there's a flange. So it goes in last. So we drop this ball bearing down in there. line it up, push. All right, and then seat it home. This ball bearing goes in, seat it home, just like that. And then inside, there's a groove right inside here where I'm tracking this scraper pointer. So I'm cleaning that groove out, make sure it's nice and cleaned out. Look at that. Some junk was still left in there. So clean that all out. Just like so. And then you see how that ball bearing fell out when I turned it upside down? That's why you got to put a slip, ring in there, spring ring. Now I have some slip joint ring pliers to do this with, and I looked high and low and I couldn't freaking find them anywhere, so I'm using a pick set. So disclaimer right now, if this slips and this thing goes into my finger, I'm not going to be real happy, but thank God I have a real high pain tolerance. Just don't laugh too much at it if it happens that way. Alright, so I did the other one and it worked. I'm hoping this one will. Alright, so I got it in there. Now I turn it and use the back side and make sure that I push it down inside that groove all the way so it doesn't spring out and fly across the room. And I know, like I said, this is going to be a long video. I get it, but there's always a faster way of doing something, but maybe not always the right way. So I always say there's enough time, never enough time to do it right, but always enough time to do it again if you goof up, right? All right, so it's in there and it's not popping out. So now that ring is set in place just like that. This unit, this ball bearings now slides onto here. It's a little tight fit, but it'll go nonetheless. Just like that. All right, look at that. Smooth. I like it. Then we set a screw in so that, not with that. Helps if I have the right Allen key. I could have sworn I had them all laying out here, but I don't. Alrighty, back. Alright, so that's in. Now we're just going to snug it up. Put it down in there. Make sure it's seated right. Give it a little go. And that's in. Alright. Now we do this side. To do this side, it's this. You just have a bushing in it. I clean these up in my ultrasonic cleaner. So we take it. It has a flanged bearing as well. It drops in. Seats in squarely. And then has, you talk about small, look at those little like eyeglasses screws. So set those on your Allen key and feed them in. Sometimes it's just easier to turn the other piece. Pick these up one at a time, get them in there. There's only 4, thank God there's not 6 or 8 or 10 of them. And they warn you not to tighten these up too much because they will strip out of that nylon really, really fast. They're fine thread. They're not holding much. They're just keeping that bearing from backing out. That's all. So doesn't take much. All right. So once I get them all started, flip the key around the other way so I can get a little bit more momentum on it, and tighten them down until they get some resistance. All right, and then go back and check them, because in doing that, if it pulled some of them in and seated the bearing more, then they're going to be loose. So always go back and double check. All right, so they're good. And now this goes on this piece with the screw heads in, lines up, gets pushed on there. All right. And then a E-clip goes on to that. And I cannot get a pair of pliers in there to do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to get it set in place. If I can get it off those little screws. There we go. And then we're going to push it on with a little screwdriver. Or we're going to sling it across the room. There's always that option too. But you know what? There's a whole bunch of these clips I got. So we're going to try it again. I have a feeling my wife's going to be sucking up a lot of these. Oh, look, it's stuck on the magnetic screwdriver. I just lost a light. All right. And then again, remember, we test it by doing that. All right, so there is that, and it is in there now. And then another thing that they want you to do is just to put a little bit of seal tight on the back side of those threads. So to do that, I used the blue again, and it doesn't take much to do it at all. I guess got to remember which side I had done. All right, that side's done. So what I do, just to put a little bit on there, is I put a little bit on the tip of this pick, and then I wipe it on there. And I'm about out of this stuff. Clumsy. Clumsy, clumsy. All right. I'm about out of it, and I'm wiping it all over putting it all over my hands. All right, so then that'll dry up a little bit, and those will be protected. Okay. So now that's good, and with those bearings, it's really, really good. Next, we can work on the differential. So we take this little bad boy here, and it gets a spacer washer put down on it, and then a bearing plate goes on. And we pick up, and we have these bearing housings. They look like that. When the bushings were in there, I pulled them out, and now we got bearings, and they're flanged as well. So you take that, and it goes down in there, and then it says to push that down on there. Just on this piece. Got to pay attention to what I'm doing here. So this piece goes on here. There we go. All right. And then this gets this piece, and there is a nylon or Teflon bushing right there that I already installed on it. So it goes down in there and then it sits flush just like that. Okay. So there's that. And then you take this piece that you had earlier. It has that gear, that washer. Oh, and this. There's another Teflon piece. I see it's around here someplace. What did I do with it? There it is. It slides on there like that. But this spacer goes on that one, just like that. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the directions when I'm doing this, and it doesn't seem like that is exactly right. It doesn't look right. But I imagine it is, I guess. It's saying that this goes together like that right there, but that just does not look right to me at all. I don't think that's right at all. So this went together. I know that's right. That went in there. There's a... Let's do this. So this went pushed onto here. It had that. Then this went on that. There we go. Getting it right now. Now we're cooking with grease here. All right. Then that piece is all done. So that's the way that's supposed to look. So that is complete. This one was this away. Take that off. It was this, and then this slid down on here like that. And that looks much better. Okay, so there is that. Then we take one of these washers. It centers in here. Then we take the this gear spur, and I cleaned it and I lubed all of the 8-ball bearings with the gear lube that it recommends putting in there. Okay. And then that slides down on top of that. And then this other one goes on top of that piece. Just like that. And then this piece, it's cut out. As you can see, there's a little shoulder. It fits down inside that to square that all up. So, and this is cut so it'll only fit on there one way. So you get that just like that. And then there's that piece. All right. Then the spring goes on there, and the nut, which goes on to hold all that together. And then that is how that works. So that is built. Okay. Then we take that, we put it through here. All right. That goes there. And then we take one side of the transmission housing. And with this in this appropriate spot, it is this one here, and it goes down through there like that, and then snaps into this piece. Just like that. Which sort of holds all that together. All right. Then we have this piece. We have to line up so the holes line up, which is right there. Trying to see where those go. This piece fits in here and lines up with those gears to mesh. Seems like that's a pain in the butt though, because that little washer is in the way. It's like, why in the world didn't we do that? There we go. All right. Then with that piece in, we turn around and put this piece on, whoops, excuse me, to match it, like that, right there. And your other ball bearing piece It is tight, tight. So this goes down inside that. I think I'm going to have to get off video and go get something to help me line that up. But we'll walk you through what we're going to do. We're going to push this down onto that once we get that lined up. This last E-clip right here slides Once this is down and flush, pull it out so I can show you. Right here, there's a groove where that E-clip will go, and that'll hold it in tight. Then these used to have like felt bushings. They look like this. I kept one so you could see it. It went in here, and then it had this little holder where foregoing those, and I got bearings. So now I have outdrive bearings. So these will go down on there, slide all the way down and lock in, and then those will have bearings as well. Put these 3 screws back in there, lock it all together, and we have a transmission. All right, we'll run through the finished product when we get back for the next video.